Hi, I'm Albert from Genopets, and this is 26 Questions with Albert.
Hi, Albert. Thank you for taking the time to join us for this 26 questions interview today.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
All right, let's get this started. What inspired you to create this Genopet game? What is the story behind it?
Well, Genopets actually originated from a project we started 2 years ago. We were working on a decentralized health data marketplace called GenoS to provide passive income to people. Unfortunately, the infrastructure for health data monetization doesn't really exist yet. So we closed down that project about a year ago. Earlier this year, we were inspired by Zed-Run and looked into play to earn and saw that it's a great way forward to incentivize a more active lifestyle while allowing people to generate passive income.
Where is the Genopets name coming from and what does the logo represent?
Yeah, so Genopets is actually the combination between genetics and pet, and that it's a hark back to when we started our genetic data marketplace, but also because we wanted each Genopet to be a digital representation of your health. So Geno and pet, and if you look at the logo, inside the logo you see the DNA helix, and that's how we came up with the logo.
For any project, its development is 90% dependent on how strong the team is. I have seen many projects fail due to lack of skills, experience, and knowledge of the team. So with Genopets, is the team qualified to achieve all of your goals?
Yeah, so most of my founding team are not first-time founders. We have a very solid growth, marketing, and software engineering backgrounds. For myself, I've been in crypto since 2016, 2017, and I've been an active builder in various L1s. And prior to crypto, I was an e-commerce businessman for 6 years. I'm joined by Ben and Jay. Ben is an award-winning product designer, and Jay is an accomplished product manager who's worked at Block One, Near Protocol, and Google.
What are the competitive advantages or differentiators of Genopets among other blockchain games and other mobile app games? I ask this because the answer would help us learn how Genopets will succeed in the competitive blockchain game market.
Yeah, so Genopets link real-world activity with blockchain, and other Web 3.0 games and any play-to-earn games, gamers will have to tap screens to grind to progress in the game, and we've replaced that with moving. And so we've coined the term move to earn, and we will replace sitting for hours in front of your computer or console pressing buttons with exercising. So we want to make progress in-game equal to progress in fitness.
Could you tell us the killer features of Genopets that makes it ahead of its competitors? And what are the plans to educate and raise awareness and adoption among the community to make more people understand about the project easily?
Sure, yeah. Apart from the move to earn mechanic, our free-to-play dual earning economic model is another killer feature that we've designed. Genopets is targeting a global audience, but beyond just crypto natives. And we've designed it so that all you need to start playing Genopets is a smartphone. And you can summon and mint your Genopet NFT for free and start earning XP as you move. And we've gated the play to earn part with what we call habitats. So we've taken a page from traditional mobile gaming and free-to-play games so that we can have universal appeal to all people and not just crypto natives. And we aim to onboard the next 1 billion users to crypto.
Can you tell me why you feel that Solana will be the best platform to solve the front-running problem? I'm curious for my own knowledge, as I honestly don't know much about Solana's chain besides it being POS and POH.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of layer one scaling solutions. If you can get it done on layer one, you maximize composability and interoperability. POH, proof of history, innovation is a great solution to concurrency. And it results in low latency and low fees, which are both important for building a blockchain game. And lastly, there's a great community behind Solana, and many of the Silicon Valley greats and smart people I respect are backing it. But on top of that, like one thing that I think is really interesting about Solana is its separation between state and logic. So you don't need to deploy the same program twice. You can utilize existing programs that's been deployed, and that's really helpful for composability and interoperability.
What is your top priorities for the end of 2021 and the coming 2022? Could you share some plans for the upcoming year? Which part of the project are you most focused on right now?
Yeah, so we will be doing our Genesis Pet launch at the end of this month with 3,333 Genesis Pets. That's really exciting. And then we're also working to launch the private beta for the actual mobile game by the end of this year. And throughout the next year in 2022, we will be adding battles, social, user-generated content, and many other features.
Cooperation and partnership is one of the most important issues to help develop a project. Can you tell us about your existing partnerships, the partnership plans, and what people can gain from these partnerships?
Yeah, so we are partnering with a Concept Art House, a famous art studio for games like Fortnite, Hearthstone, to create the pet arts. And we've also announced partnerships with Yield Guild Games earlier this month to bring Move to Earn to their scholars with co-branded Habitat NFTs. And we'll have many of these similar partnerships to be announced shortly.
What is Genopet's approach in this field to make it more reachable to non-crypto users?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And this is why we have a mobile first experience. The game will be downloadable for your mobile phone and hopefully from the App Store and Google Play Store. And the goal is that the players don't need to know anything about crypto to get started.
What gives the value of Gene token? What is the role of it in your ecosystem? Could you please mention some advantages of holding Gene in the long term?
Yeah, sure. So in a nutshell, Gene is our governance and staking token. So it allows our community to vote on in-game decisions, gain access to special features, as well as staking it to earn rewards in the future. And Gene token has also been designed to be used in all in-game actions, such as crystal refinement and habitat terraforming. So instead of being burnt, they go into community treasury to be distributed later on. And this creates a more sustainable token flow for our governance token. And we've taken a page from the master of play to earn currently, which is AXS, and we've designed on top of a lot of the mechanics that they have. So instead of breeding, we have item crafting, and item crafting will lead to consumption of Gene token. So we're tying the demand of the token to the daily user activity of the platform. And additionally, we're exploring using Gene tokens as the primary token for seasonal NFT sales.
I know Genopets is currently working on NFTs. That's very good news. But where can we find the NFTs? And what do I have to do to get your NFTs? Looking at the market hype, do you guys have any future plans to develop your NFTs?
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, end of this month, so in a few weeks, we'll be doing a NFT sale of our Genesis Genopets, and that's gonna be on our own platform. That will be announced later if you follow our Twitter or join our Discord. But on top of that, you can mint NFTs in-game once the game launches. We will hold custody for you until you want to withdraw, and those details will be also announced shortly.
Some projects are unable to continue their development and will be left unfinished. Thanks to what features can Genopets be a long-term project?
Well, one of the things I think that makes Genopets unique is that first and foremost, we're trying to build a fun game. Walk around and take steps, convert these steps into an evolution of a pet that's your digital avatar that you can use to show off to your friends or battle your friends. And I think that's really the key to it, because the goal here is that even without crypto and earning and play to earn, it should still be a fun game concept. And with that, it should be a long-term project regardless of market conditions.
As we see current gaming projects, the in-game utilities prices gets increased as the project gets hype, but this restricts new players to join the game due to the high prices of utilities. How will Genopet solve this issue and attract new players in the hype space as well?
Yeah, so this is a great question, because I also mentioned this earlier, where one of the killer features that we have is the free-to-play mechanic, allowing a dual earning economic model. What that means is that anybody can just play this game for free, and it's only that when they want to start earning, then they would have to pay into the ecosystem to do so. But there is no basically there is no price barrier for players to get started. On top of that, we will closely monitor NFT prices in the marketplace and work to provide basic habitats that will allow players to get started at a reasonable price. So there isn't huge property price inflation in the game economy.
Genopet is often compared to Pokemon Go due to the walking aspect of progression in the game. With the rise and fall of Pokemon Go due to the slow release of game features such as battles, how do you see Genopet succeeding where Pokemon Go failed?
Yeah, so I think that's where being a Web3 native game really shines. The gaming experience for a Web3 game goes beyond the mobile app. So outside the mobile app, there are still plenty of roles to play in the game. For example, item crafting, terraforming. But more than that, a key feature of a blockchain game, and this is why I talk so much about interoperability, is there will be other ways to experience the Genoverse through integrations with other gaming platforms and open source experiences built by the community. And this is something I'm really looking forward to. And we're talking to a few other games, not just on Solana, but on other platforms as well, to build out content for one another. And this should keep the users and players engaged while the core team builds out additional features for the mobile app.
Can you explain the terms merchant, landlord, and collector? How are they different from one another and what do they do in the game?
Yeah, so in the Genoverse, there are three ways players can do, three roles that people can use to play to earn. The first way is to be a collector. They play for the purpose of creating and collecting the coolest Genopets NFTs to hold and trade in the open marketplace. So that's, they can get augments, they can collect different parts for their Genopet to upgrade and try to get as many cool Genopets as they want, as they can. And the second are merchants. They purchase, create, and terraform the best Genopet habitats and refine NFT crystals, and they trade them in the marketplace. So these people will be market buying gene tokens and key tokens to do these refinements. And lastly, we have landlords, and these are people who are buying habitats for the purpose of leasing it to other players to earn yield.
What will happen when a Genopet loses a battle? Will it die permanently, or will it be revived immediately or after a cooldown period?
We currently, the way we've designed it, your Genopet won't die after a battle. That's too hardcore. But there will be a maximum number of battles a day, but no cooldown.
A good project always has competition and duplication of ideas. What is the long-term vision of Genopets in the blockchain market to keep up with the trends with technology, community, and related issues?
Yeah, so I think the blockchain space is an ever-changing ecosystem. I mean, just as an example, our original idea back in 2018 was to generate passive income through health data monetization. But then it became clear to us that the infrastructure necessary for that idea was still years away. So the long-term vision here is to build a first solution that generates passive income for the masses using play to earn, as exemplified by Axie Infinity and the guild system. And we want to eventually use that to incentivize people to take to incentivize a healthy, active lifestyle. And eventually, if there's a way to harness all of this aggregate of health data for monetization, then that's something that we are looking to do as well. So there is basically a 5 to 10 year roadmap here, and we will keep being flexible depending on the market conditions and just how trends with technology and community are changing. But we've thought through the next 10 years, basically.
Community support is one of the biggest aspects of a project's success. Most projects have programs that interact with their users. Do you have any special plans to attract and expand the community and improve user experience?
Yeah, so what's so awesome about NFTs is how community focused and driven it is. So we have the privilege to get immediate feedback from our community as we build the game. And this is why we are taking an iterative approach to building the game. We'll be building in phases, releasing features and chunks to get community feedback. And nonetheless, the use of gene tokens are also what allows our community to vote on in-game decisions and gain access to special features.
User experience is a very important issue in most projects. Does Genopets focus on this? What has Genopets done to bring the best user experience, especially to new users?
Yeah, so we're looking to launch our closed beta, private beta, which will be open to a select group of our own community. And using the data we gather on user behavior and retention will then improve existing features and add more features on a regular basis.
Okay, last question. I'm a developer and I'm interested to contributing to the Genopets project alongside Ernie. Do you have any bug bounty to check for vulnerabilities?
Not yet, but that will be coming. So more information on bug bounty programs will be released as we launch our closed beta by the end of the year. So stay tuned.
Cool. Thanks for answering 20 questions from the community. Now it's your turn to ask our fans 6 questions. Do you have the 6 questions ready?
Yes, I do.
All right, let's begin.
All right, so question number 1. What is Genopet's mission? Question number 2. Which is the correct mechanics behind Genopet's GameFi? Question number 3. What blockchain is Genopets built on? Question number 4. What is a habitat in Genopets? Question number 5. What can all players earn for taking steps in the real world? And lastly, question number 6. What is the Genopets dual earning economy?
Awesome session. Thank you for the questions. We hope you guys liked the interview session with Albert. For fans whose questions are selected, please claim your rewards as per instructions in the description box below. And for those who want to participate and win USDT, simply answer the 6 questions that Albert had asked. Comment your answers in the comment section below and we will pick 6 lucky winners. Thank you so much for coming onto our show, Albert. Till the next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Bye!
Bye.